Welcome back to the Intuitive Wonderland. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Williams.
I'm your host, Mel Anderson.
Why do you look so dark?
I do look dark. It's creepy. Do I just need to scooch a little closer? I
gosh.
so will.
We have had some technical difficulties this
We
morning.
sure have. It's been crazy. We've got all this new equipment and we've got it all hooked up, and then this doesn't work, and then that doesn't work. And this is exactly what you said was the frustrating part about having all the equipment, and then
Well, how do you feel about it?
maybe we should ship it all back.
Oh my gosh, I know. But we're so close to having everything set up now.
I know.
Anyway, we have a big announcement today. We have a guest coming on today, and we were hoping to have all of our new equipment to be super professional podcasters and have our guest on, but you're just going to have to tolerate us the old school way.
The old school way.
Yeah.
Today anyway.
The big announcement is, let's just talk about it before we bring her on.
Okay.
We mentioned to you guys that we were going to be possibly offering a retreat. It's happening, and it's a big one.
It's a big retreat.
Yeah.
Yes.
We decided to partner with Silvia Suro in Mexico. So we will be going to Mexico, Alma Maya, the beginning of February, and offering a retreat. We're all co-facilitating it. It's going to be so awesome.
I'm really excited. I've never been to Mexico.
You haven't?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, you're going to love it.
First timer. Yep.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about it today. We're going to bring Silvia on, and she's going to talk about her work. She's done lots of retreats.
Yes.
It's so awesome to partner with her because she knows what she's doing.
Yeah,
She's done this many times.
She has, and I'm going to make sure she got that message.
Okay. So let's see if she's here. Sylvia, are you here? Come on in. Hi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here with you ladies. I love you so much. You know, working together with this planning of the retreat has just made such a good connection with you too. So I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you.
It feels really divinely led to me that we were to get in contact the way we were, and that it's turning into this beautiful retreat, which I'm really excited about.
Me too. It was divine. It was just immediate connection out of 3,000 people that were on this call where we met. We ended up getting to know each other, and for a good reason.
Yes. Okay, well, did you hear my little introduction before we brought you on?
I did. I was trying to get in. I was trying on the computer. I didn't make it on the computer, so I'm on my phone, but I was able to hear.
That's what we had to do.
That's okay to do too. I don't know. Something's leading us to do phones today.
Yes.
You mind if I put my leg on
Not
you?
at all.
Okay, well, I kind of want to jump in to talk about this retreat because I think the work that you're doing is really helping a lot of people. And so I want to talk about it. I want to talk about kind of your journey into this work. Let's start there. How did you get into wanting to serve high performing women?
Yeah, now that's a great question because, you know, I've been there, so I've walked the path, and it all started in my family. You know, when I was in a situation with a mental health crisis at home, which forced me to really look deeper into myself. Like at the beginning, it was like my spouse, he's not feeling well, you know, he's the one that's going through the challenges. But in reality, it was an opportunity that life gave me to look into myself, into the emotions that I was going through, things that I had not prioritized in my life in the past. And so it really became a wonderful experience that connected with a sister of mine. She's an OBGYN, and she went through her own path, you know, self-discovery. And at some point we kind of, you know, cross paths. And what are you doing? This, what happened to you? No, this, we want to open a center, you know, a wellness center, because this is something that we want to share with others. And that's how it all started. And, you know, funny enough, like we, you know, with a doctor that has so many ideas of how health is in life. When she went through her transformation, you know, she broke a lot of beliefs and stories that were driving herself. And in my case, it also this experience broke a lot of beliefs and a lot of the patterns that I was raised with. And so it's just been a journey of self-understanding. And I think that's what we are owed to society. You know, like I feel like some of the things that we do we should be learning since we're in kindergarten. Some of those things are so important in life, like learning to read and learning mathematics. We need to learn who we are. We need to learn about our mind and our body. And that's the whole reason, like, it became truly a purpose in life.
Yeah. No, I agree. So what year was it that you opened the wellness center?
We opened it in 2021, right in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our crisis, our personal journey started in 2018. When things started to show up in our families, in our personal lives, and it's just a progression. It was just a natural progression, and we were just like the transformation we went through during that time. We were like, we want to share with others because this is something that is not easily available to people in society. So that's how it started. It's been, you can say, an 8-year journey already,
Yeah.
which
And
feels like 2 years, honestly.
yeah. How many retreats have you done in that time?
So we've done, how it all started with the center was bringing a lot of therapists and a lot of practitioners into the place. And so together with all of them, we've done multiple experiences. I don't have an actual count with that, but it's been, I was doing the count on the amount of people that have gone through the center so far, and it's been over 1,000 people that have passed through our doors and one way or another. So this has been one of the most, beautiful things to see, that people are finding healing, they're finding understanding, they're finding purpose through the experiences that they go through with us.
Yeah. Well, and so all of the ones leading up to this point have been Spanish speaking. And
Yeah.
that's why you reached out to me, was because you were ready to go international and
That's
offer
right.
an English speaking retreat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in which you speak English very well.
Thank
And
you.
so you brought us on because we're filling in some of those gaps in the retreat, and we can speak to everybody
Yes,
and make it
exactly.
a little bit more accessible
Yes.
to those who are English speaking. Sorry, push that off.
That is right. That was the reason why I reached out, because one of the things that both my sister and I always wanted to have were, professionals that, many of the things that are surrounded by this area of work, there are a lot of beliefs and myths about these things, but there's also a lot of truths of things that are, not necessarily as professional as they should be. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that we always worked with people that knew what they were doing, that had studied, the human as a whole, and in their different specialties, obviously. So to me, bringing this experience to English speakers, I needed to partner with people that knew what they were doing. And to me, you two are an excellent partner in that sense. So that's why, with the intention to help high functioning women, I'm thinking of people that are successful, people that have a lot of understanding of life already, but we need to bring that next level up for them. So that's why, your credentials speak for yourself,
Yeah. Oh,
speak for
thank you.
themselves. Yes.
I think we should jump into that so that people kind of know the population we're talking about. So these are women who are managing everything. These are the women who they got work, they have family, they're mothers, they're CEOs. They
Mhm.
are the people that if you ask them, can you do this? They always say yes, because they have the capacity for more. And more is great until it becomes so much that they start to shut down. And there's lots of different ways that shows up for people, right? Like relationship issues, health issues, little
Mhm.
signs that are saying something here isn't working, but they continue to push because that's all they know how to do. And they're very good at it. They are
That's
very
right.
good at handling everything. So could you talk a little bit about that? For those women that are listening right now, how do they know they are the ones we're talking to?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think understanding the context and a little bit of the history will help with that, because when we look at the history of recent humanity, it was a world that was dominated by by the male side, and the professional aspect of things were there, right? Like he was the go-getter. He was the one to develop himself in a professional way, whichever area it was. And the woman was, the typical role was to stay at home and take care of the family. And so in the more recent history, we're talking about 75, 50 years in the making of this transformation for women to be able to participate in that, right? And to be also the one that is the go-getter, the one that wants to have an aspiration in life more than just staying at home and taking care of the children. And so in that sense, it's very recent, okay? So this is a very recent situation where for women, it's more challenging than for men to be a high functioning person or individual, because you're still in that stage where you're having to compete in that area in a professional way, okay? But the responsibilities of home have not completely been rebalanced. And so a woman that is giving her 110% in a professional sense, to be successful, to be breaking that glass ceiling, is also having to do 50 to 80% to 100% of the load of the personal life when it comes to a family, okay? And so being a high performer or being a high functioning person or individual means that you have high expectations, that you want to deliver and you want to achieve more than a typical individual. And so that puts a lot of pressure on the woman, okay? And that pressure turns into, yes, I'm capable of doing these things. There's a sense of pride in that. And then you replicate that at home. You're also very capable at home. You're taking care of the family as well. And you're also potentially taking care of other issues, like maybe your father or your mother have fallen ill. Maybe there is a situation with your friends, and there you go, put yourself out there because you know you can do this. And so for a woman, it typically is more, it's a bigger challenge to be high functioning, because that inertia, that what you're doing in a professional environment, you're bringing it everywhere else in your life. Okay, so that's why it's so relevant when we're talking about high functioning individuals targeting women, because we have bigger challenges, in how to really bring a sustainable success. Okay, and that's the big challenge. How do you become, yes, successful, but in a sustainable way for you? Because you mentioned it very, very rightly. There is a cost when we are operating at 110, at 150% all the time, 14 hours a day. You will start seeing that the game is between balancing the energies between, all that you have to put in and do, and the recovery that needs to happen for you to continue to do this day by day, day by day. That's where the challenge is.
Yeah. I mean, if you think of, as I was listening to you talk, I was thinking of a computer overheating.
Right.
Sometimes it has to shut off and recover so that it can continue processing. And a computer does a very good job at, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. But sometimes it overheats and it needs to recover. So what makes the retreat, just a retreat in general, what makes that different from taking a vacation? Why should a woman spend the money, come and see us to do the retreat format versus just taking a vacation and going and resting somewhere?
Yeah, that's a great question, because when we look into the methodology that we put, we got to think about what's happening underneath, okay? And the patterns that are repeating. So let's talk about a typical vacation first. When you go into a vacation, yes, you recharge energies, you kind of potentially forget about the problems at work, the problems anywhere else. You're trying to relax, right? You're trying to put that overload off. But typically what happens is you don't fully turn off the noise in your head. It's like it's still there, constantly reminding you of all the things that you want to do. That's one. The other thing is, when a woman is used to being high functioning, rest typically feels like a threat. And it's not because consciously you're saying, oh no, I can't rest because it's a threat. No, you're not thinking that way. But subconsciously, what's happening is that time is precious because you have all this list of things that you gotta do and accomplish. And so to you, time feels of the essence, right? Like, I better be producing. I cannot waste time in like going and doing something fun, or like just completely relaxing and forgetting about everything, because it feels like something might go wrong in the process. So there's that little subconscious noise in the back of your head that subconsciously, as I said, keeps sabotaging your rest basically. And the third reason that a typical vacation will not do the work is because you come home or you come back to work, and all the pending things, all the list of things that you stopped doing during that week or 3 days or how many days you were out, they're still there waiting for you. And so now you have that truth of your subconscious that told you all these things that you had to do and you didn't use the time. Now you have to do them right now. So you come home, you come back, and you're overwhelmed. The first thing that you want to do is like, I need a vacation from the vacation, right? So that is part of the reason why a typical vacation doesn't fully do the job of helping you recharge those energies that you need to continue to perform at your 110% that you typically are. The difference with that retreat will be then that we're not only allowing the body to rest, we are doing part of that mental reset that requires, for you to truly allow your body to recharge. And so there are things that are part of our understanding of our nervous system, right? Like when you are in a stressful situation, the nervous system is operating at its high, right? It's mobilizing enormous amounts of energy to the brain, because usually we're using our mental, the frontal lobe, which is the one in charge of the executive functions. And so there's a lot of energy going here. But if there are issues around, the other part of the energy is going to the how are you going to handle all these problems in a physical sense. And so the energy is removed from your organs, your gastrointestinal system, from your lungs, from your heart. All the things that need energy are constantly being deprived from energy. And so when you continue to do this in a repetitive way, the nervous system gets stuck there. And so when it gets stuck, just by going on a vacation, it doesn't reset. What's happening is like an addiction, it stays there. It just doesn't get quiet. And it's even when you see some women, and I felt it that way too in the past. You go into a vacation and you're like, so what are we going to do on the vacation? Like, what's there to do? So the nervous system keeps asking you to do things, to be productive during your vacation. You can't stop it, automatically. There is an additional effort if you wanted to do that. So in a retreat, we work with understanding what's happening on that nervous system, and we work on physiologically allowing that nervous system to reset. And that's the key. That is part of that transformation. And there are different methodologies that we use to achieve that, because what we need to teach the nervous system while you're in this moment of pause, like you got out of your environment. Okay, that's the first thing. But the second thing is to understand what's happening, what's driving that nervous system to be operating at 110%. Then we got to do the work physiologically to help the body really, really do that nervous system reset. So that's part of the key. And then you work on, how do I do this differently? Okay, that is the key. You, in a retreat, you learn. In a vacation, you fight your nervous system, or the nervous system keeps driving you. So you really didn't achieve what you were looking for, which was restoration. So I would summarize it like that.
That's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do go on vacation because you want to rest. I like that you use the word restoration.
Yeah.
But I think the retreat is about transformation.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming to transform. You're learning things, yes, but it's not like you're sitting there and sitting at a, what would you call that? Like some kind of talk, or,
Right. Mm-hmm.
you're not just sitting there learning like in a classroom. You're experiencing that which you can take with you. And I want to get into kind of the format of the retreat, because the offers are really transformational experiences. And when you're talking about physically, like what you're putting your body through, but not only that, we're having the gateway experience that comes from within. We're offering the plant medicine experience that comes from within. These are not transformations that are external stimuli, right? This is not just a you come and we give you all this information. This is us supporting you in an environment where you can open up and allow what's inside of you to show you the way.
Yes. Yes, that's what's beautiful about it, because it is an internal, it's that the name of the retreat is Return, because the idea is exactly to go back to yourself. And so we do this with some of those methodologies that you just mentioned, because we first got to understand what is it that we really want. And we can question anything in life, right? We can say, okay, this is the piece that I want to transform. And what I like about the retreat that we're putting together for the Riviera Maya is that we are embracing some of the ancient traditions as well, right? And so we're bringing ancient wisdom to this scientific understanding as well about our minds and bodies. And one of them is the ceremony of the Temazcal. And the Temazcal is a very ancient tradition. Temazcal is the representation of Mother Earth, and it's like a little igloo, okay, made of earth basically. And the representation is that womb, okay, so that's why it's like a little igloo. And so we go in there and we have these volcanic rocks, and these volcanic rocks are full of energy. I mean, the volcanoes that erupted, they come from within, so it's that natural essential energy of planet earth that we heat them up, and then we use some plants to infuse them, and then with water this place becomes like a sauna, but it's a ceremonial sauna where you detox your body, you allow that nervous system and that circulatory system, respiratory system to really reset, to get infused with those energies. And so I find that ceremony so very beautiful, because every time somebody goes in, when they come out, they feel a different person. And the representation being the womb of earth is in a mindset way. It's like you are reborn to the person that you want to be. Okay. And so that is part of it's just one example of the type of experiences that we'll be going through in the retreat. The
Yeah, I'm
plant
glad you
medicine as
brought that
well.
up, because I really wanted to talk about the cultural element. I mean, we can have a retreat anywhere, but having it there, Mexican culture, I think, offers a support in a way that American culture doesn't. And I think that's why it's so wonderful that you're going international, because you're offering this cultural element to people that don't necessarily have that influence.
Yeah.
You know, you're inviting us into your culture to experience these healing methodologies that, like you said, are ancient, that we don't have access to. That's not a part of our culture. You know, we don't have that depth as far as the healing and the wellness. I mean, what you just mentioned, that's one of the things that people can come for that they would not get if they were here in the States. The bufo. Let's talk about the bufo.
Yeah.
That's also something that you can't get here. We have a medicine man, right, who's going to be
Yes.
there at the retreat. This is an offer for people. They don't have to do it, but it is a part of the format of the retreat. Can you speak about that element?
Yes, that is one of the most interesting medicines that I've come across, because so what this is the venom of a type of frog that only lives in the north part of Mexico. And so it is extracted in a safe way, and then it is smoked. And the effect that it does to you is it basically helps you release a substance that it's said that we only release two times in our life. One is when we're born, and the other one is when we die. So it basically strips away anything material in our perception, in our psyche. and it leaves us with the universe, basically, with the essentials, with who you truly are. And it helps you kind of like release the things in your body that are not good for you. And it's a very quick experience. It's a 20-minute experience overall, with the peak experience being at, within the first 2 minutes. It's just amazing. My husband, when he did that, he experienced it in a beautiful way. He was like, the way he expressed it was just so beautiful. He was just talking about it as the most beautiful experience in his life. Like, he was not afraid of death to begin with. Like, he saw things that helped him feel safe and secure. So he was like, in a way, like integrating that in a sense that helped him throughout his depression. He was one of the things that, the struggle that I mentioned at the beginning was the depression he went through. He experienced that medicine, and he kind of recalibrated life in a completely different way. So that is one of those experiences, and it's very unique to Mexico because this type of animal, it only exists, its habitat is in Mexico only. So it is a hard thing to find also. So because the plant medicine, that the medicine man that we have, he is, being instructed always with all the respect to nature, with all the respect to, the human experience, to the people that do this. And so it is very unique, not that easily accessible, and he does it in a very respectful way.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up your husband and his experience, because you would think that a psychedelic experience that only lasts for 20 minutes would be not very profound, but it is. And the beautiful thing about plant medicine is it knows exactly what to bring you and how to bring it to you. At least that's
Yes.
been my own experience. Has that been your experience?
It has been my experience, yes.
How are you feeling about the bufo? Are you excited about?
I'm more excited about that than anything.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Well, you've kind of been on a journey.
Yeah, I have been on I've been using LSD,
Mhm.
and I've recently done an MDMA session, and it's changed me. It's completely changed me.
Yeah.
On so many levels. Physically, I'm noticing a lot of differences. So I'm extremely excited about the bufo.
Yeah, it just has its own wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
The medicine does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yep.
why I'm kind of gearing my practice to head towards psychedelics, because the impact it's having on people is so profound. And what I'm hearing you say about the bufo is very exciting. Like, the impact that can make for these women. And then we're not going to just leave them hanging. We're doing that in the middle of the retreat, right? So it's protected on either side, getting ready for that experience. And then we're going to help with the integration afterwards, which I think is a beautiful setup. And I don't doubt that everybody that comes to this is going to leave changed for the better and feeling that. And think about like the connection between the people that come.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be family.
Like that too.
It's gonna be amazing.
These are people are going to start off as strangers, and you're going to be leaving as close friends.
Mm-hmm.
These are profound experiences.
They are. You get to know people at a different level that you will, maybe people that you've known for 20 years, you don't know things about, you don't feel that kind of closeness and connection and camaraderie, because now you know that you share an experience that is very profound, that is very purposeful. So that's why, doing a retreat with individuals that share particular aspects of life that they want to improve is so powerful. The community that is built throughout, the sharing of experiences. Sometimes you don't even realize that something that you experienced could be transformed in a better way for you, or that is a message for you in your life, till you hear it from somebody else, till it is presented to you in a different shape. So the learning is not just through yourself, but through that community. And that, I just find that that's one of the most powerful things to do.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for people that aren't necessarily ready to jump into signing up for the retreat, can we talk about the masterclass a little bit? Because that's another offer, and that's happening soon, in what, like 3 weeks?
that will
Yes, so
be
we have a
available?
master class. Yes, we
Mhm.
have a master class. It's a free session. People can join and they can ask questions. We are going to have a discussion there. The master class is on September 15. Maybe we can put the link there for those who want to sign up and they get the information. We're going to talk about the patterns, the patterns of high functioning women. We're going to dig deeper into what is the situation, what's happening, is this me, is this for me, the idea is to start getting more aware, more conscious about what's driving our behaviors, to start recognizing those signals in our bodies, to start recognizing what's happening within us and what could be a better way to do things. So I think it's going to be an excellent opportunity just to discuss and understand more about what's going on.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a good place for people to come to if they're like, well, am I the right person for this kind of thing? Like, if coming to the master class, that'll allow you to kind of feel into, does this apply to me? Which I think it probably will, because, well, I personally feel like this could apply to anybody,
Mhm.
because everybody has at least one area that needs some improvement
Mhm.
or could benefit for some growth or
Mhm.
healing or wellness or something like that. So I would encourage everybody to come to the masterclass at least to learn more about this. But before we finish, I want to talk about the stories, the people, the impact that your work has already made for people. You have several stories of people that have come to you, they've done the work, and their life has been drastically improved.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can start I'm going to start with myself, which I was, my own example as well in the process, because at the beginning, as I said, with this high functioning pattern, I remember when I was going through my pregnancy with my second child, and we were going with through the depression of my husband, and he moved. I asked him, hey, why don't you go to the States? I need to have a calm pregnancy, because this has been difficult for me. And that's when we were starting to do all this work, right? And he left, but I was worried that I wanted him to be present for the baby to be born. And so I kept, like, in my mind, these are the kinds of thoughts that will drive our bodies. And I was just like, I hope the baby is not born till my husband is here. And then I need to do this before the baby's born. And need to do this other thing before the baby's born. And so here comes week 40, and my OBGYN is like checking on me, and she has this face, like, oh my gosh, like your body is not getting ready for the delivery, and the baby's getting too big, so it's going to be a challenge for you to have a natural delivery. And so I came home and my husband was there. He had just arrived 5 days earlier, and he's there, and I'm like, you know what? My OBGYN seemed worried. And I realized that I've been telling myself this narrative that I need to get all these things done before the baby's born, right? And so when I realized that, I said, I need to tell my baby that I'm ready, and I to believe that I am ready. So I just sat down on a Pilates ball and I put up this beautiful music to help me go into meditation and connect with the baby. It was a music that it made you feel like you were inside of the womb. And so it was beautiful. And what I would do in that moment was just connect with that baby and just said, I feel you in my arms and I'm ready for you. You're welcome. I'm ready for you. And my husband, he was just looking at me, he was laying on bed and he was just looking at me like, who's this crazy lady? Like, I've never seen her do that kind of stuff, right? And I was just like in a trance, right? It was beautiful. So when I, finished, it was a 30-minute meditation. I go to sleep. I had the most wonderful rest that I had in years. Like, forget about just the pregnancy, in years. I slept like 10 to 11 hours, the most restorative rest that I've ever had. And when I wake up, I start feeling the contractions. in 3 hours later, the baby was born.
Wow.
So I was like, this is just, it felt like magic, because it was working with that mental, noise. It was working with those beliefs and those, the patterns that I kept doing. Like, I was the high functioner. I need to do these things because, when I am with a baby, I'm not going to be able to do things. I'm not going to be able to perform. I'm not going to be able to achieve things. So my mind, was keeping me there. So I recognized that, and it was such a powerful experience. And I have more stories. I mean, I that was a personal, that story that I tell people, and they're like, wow, that is just crazy. How did that happen? Because your doctor had just seen you, like a few hours earlier. And there's another powerful story.
Before you move on to another one, I just want to speak to that, because that I love that story so much. It really illustrates the power between the mind and the body, and the connection between the mother and the child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are networks that are working together and can also work against each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't know you were blocking yourself. It wasn't a conscious thing. It was
Mhm.
subconscious, like what you were talking about earlier. These are the things that are running in the background that you may not even realize are blocking you. And once
Exactly.
you did, you were able to release it. And then it literally opened up the canal for the baby to come through.
Literally, it was just, it was a change in mindset, but it was not just the mind, it was the emotion. So it was connecting that thought with a belief. Like I said, no, I am ready. Of course I am ready for you. And just feeling him on my arms, just saying, how beautiful it felt. Like, it was just, you can say it was just an imagination, but it was an experience that drove an emotion. It drove a chemical reaction in my body. And it said, yes, and this feels beautiful, and you want it right now. And it just triggered the rest,
Yeah, I love that. I think we have time for probably one more. Let's talk about the woman with fertility.
Yes, yes, good. Yes, this woman, she was a physician, and she was trying to get pregnant. She was an OBGYN too. And so she knew what she was doing, right? She knew the techniques. She knew if she was struggling getting pregnant, she had all this tools and resources, methodologies that she could, try. And she tried them. And it's when you tried everything that medically is possible, that these kind of women will start looking into something else, right? And so she came to our center, and she went through a process with us. And it was just about 3 months after that she did that she was pregnant. And she was just like, this is like, she couldn't believe it, but in a way she did, because she went there, right? She was looking for that help. And she became pregnant, at a later age. And so she was so appreciative of that transformation, that ability to bear a child as an OBGYN, that she is seeing pregnant women all the time. She desired that, right? And so she was able to get pregnant. And she was so thankful and grateful that she did her baby shower with us in the wellness center. So it was a beautiful experience, because it's just, one of those examples of when something is blocking you because of certain patterns, could be thoughts, could be emotions. When you do the work, you find that physical transformation, because when you are blocking, you're depriving your body from that restorative health or energy. Things are going to start to malfunction. They're going to start, it's going to lead you into a path of illness. And this was not an illness, but it was an inability to get pregnant, right? So she experienced that. And I just love it, because she's a physician. Those are typically the most resistant people to go do this kind of work. And she did it when she found no other alternative, and she saw the result. And it was a beautiful experience.
I think a big part of this is a woman saying yes to the invitation to come into a space and go, okay, what is it that I could open up here? Because
Yeah.
these are the kind of women that are so, I mean, from the time they wake up till the time they go to bed, it's full of, I'm taking care of what I need to take care of. And what do women do when there's a whole list of things that need to get done? They take the things that they need to take care of themselves and they go to the bottom of the list. And how many days do they go to bed where they never even met a single one of those needs? But coming into a space like this, it's the same with psychotherapy. It's the same with the healing work that you do at your wellness center with the Kabash method. Like it's that space of, okay, I'm going to step into this portal and I'm going to see what's here for me.
Yes.
I'm going to give it a chance to reveal itself. Because you might come to the retreat and you don't know specifically what it is that you want to change, but you know that something should probably change. And having us hold that space allows for it to reveal itself and to come forward. And that's when transformation happens, is once you can see it and go, oh. And then once you recognize it, just like you, as soon as you realize I'm the one blocking the baby coming, you went, oh, I'm going to change that. You changed it, the baby came.
Yes.
Right?
It starts with that awareness, and the space to become aware needs to be there. And usually when you're in this 12, like 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, depending what time you start the day, and you finish late, and then your mind is just thinking about all the things that you got to do the next day and how to do the ones that you just finished, there is no space for that reflection. There's no space for that true understanding of what's going on. What is it that I want to change in my life, that I want to do better? And so the retreat is an opportunity to dedicate the space and the time to yourself 100%, not the
And then
other
to take it
things.
home with you. It's
And
not
you
just a
take it
week
home.
time. You're taking it home with you. You're taking what you received there and you are incorporating it back into everyday life so that you can have sustainable success.
Exactly. You become empowered to that sustainability, to successful sustainability. Yes, that's good. That's excellent. Thank you,
Yeah, that's
Katie.
why I'm so excited about it, because I really do think it's going to make a big impact for a lot of people.
Yes, and we have a very good set of practitioners and therapists that are coming and joining the retreat. You two are coming. I'm gonna be there. We're gonna bring the medicine man who's an expert too. There's gonna be a person there also expert on facilitating transformational experiences that works with me in Mexico. It's gonna be really, really supported with people that we can trust.
Yeah. And I think that we talked about having some follow-up podcast episodes with maybe your husband to talk about his Bufo experience.
Absolutely.
We could have the medicine man on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be a great opportunity for people who have questions to speak to the source, the person that's doing this all the time.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
I think that would be a wonderful addition to this conversation.
We can do that. We'll organize that and bring
Okay.
them.
Is there anything that you wanted to add? Anything that maybe we didn't think to ask that you want to make sure that people know?
Well, let me think. I think the only thing that I can think of that we're missing at this point is you're coming to the retreat is an opportunity to feel more energized. One thing that, high functioning women, we feel depleted most of the times, exhausted, and it's difficult to feel that energy. So we're going to feel more energized. That's for sure. What we come out with is going to help us become more productive with less effort. And that is super important. That's so valuable for women that want to do more, achieve more, but we're exhausted. So we want to do it more effectively. That's something we're going to learn how to do as well. And I think the most beautiful thing is that we're going to come out there more connected to ourselves and our sense of purpose. I think that's something that will make that lasting effect. Those three things.
I agree. All right. So let's give them the website.
Yes. So it's kabashmethod.com/return 2027. We put it in the link, and we're also gonna add the link to in the comments. Sorry, the link in the comments. We're gonna add also the one to the masterclass if they want to join us September 15. We'll be there to answer questions, to have them join the conversation and see, what can we do for you.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, Silvia Suro, she is the founder of the Kabash Wellness Center in Mexico and the founder of the Kabash Method. Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about all of this. The work you're doing, I have great admiration for, and I'm so excited to be a part of this retreat.
Me too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies, for this. Thank you so much for coming and supporting in this mission. And this is very powerful because we start with people that have good understanding of life already, but we're going to take it the next level, and it's going to impact a lot of souls, a lot of people through that experience. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much for inviting me and for trusting me as well.
All right, more to come.
That's right.
Thanks, you guys, for being here on the show and watching, and we will catch you soon.
All righty.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Sweaty. Success. Go pee.